Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks bringing you the daily Tesla report for Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. Let's jump to the big picture to start with, and we'll work our way into the day trade. Just a reminder that last week we settled clearly below long-term channel support, now resistance in the 164.46 to 172.57 region. This is our ceiling now, really through January, and below which we should continue south into a moving target, a zone of the next long-term support region, 107.04 to 118.74, dropping gradually by late January. It's in the 90s to low 100 area, as you can see here. This is our objective over the next 3 to 5 weeks, holding below 164.46 to 172.57. So that is the big picture. Let's take a look at really the day itself, and this level also held pretty decent. I've got it in a number of charts here. It is a long-term trend line. Today at 144.92 was in the 145 handle on Monday. We didn't test it to the tick, but we definitely dropped inside the 1 point of it. It is able to contain selling into later week. And from here, we just may rally back into the 160s, that long-term resistance area, over the next few days, perhaps. In fact, let's work our way up today from 144.92 because I've been saying it is a two-star support level, how it can contain selling still into later week, and from here we can rally into the 160s, 170s perhaps. In terms of, let's zoom in here. This is the daily chart. 155.45 is a new descending channel top just over the last 5 days or so. It is very similar to what we've had really for the last few days. I can't remember exactly what I had yesterday, but I had 155 handle intraday resistance, and we came close to testing it, as I recall, or if maybe we tested it to the tick. I can't remember, but we fell off from there early in the day. 155.45 still remains a pivot point for the day. So holding above 144.92 will keep this short-term channel top in reach today, where we can top out on an intraday basis, possibly for the day itself. But keep in mind that we did essentially test that long-term trend line on Monday at 144.92 today, and that does allow decent recovery over the next couple of days because it's a two-star support. So pushing or opening today above 155.45 shouldn't come as a great surprise, and if so, I would expect 163.09 on an intraday basis. This is a new 2-week descending channel top. I think it can contain daily buying pressures, and we could push through it by a bit and test long-term resistance today at 164.46. So if we happen to test 163.09, we can push through it and test this 164.46 long-term resistance area. If, though, and I'll say this, this is kind of a subjective call, but I think if we close above 163.09 today, we can, at least for the next few days, 3 to 5 days perhaps, ignore this long-term resistance area in the 164.46 to 172.57 area, because the daily chart is then suggesting a pretty meaningful short cover rally, I think, over the following 3 to 5 days into the 180s. So closing above 163.09, a good weekly low. The following 3 to 5 days then likely to test this 2.5 month channel top at 186.31, where we could top out through next week. And then we'll just have to see where Friday settles out.
Just so you know, a wickedstocks.com membership delivers regular daily video analysis in the SPY and Triple Q, weekly video analysis in the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ 100 index, and a U.S. Treasury ETF, and 2 individual stock pick videos every week. Check out our other content by clicking the link below.
If Friday settles out back above 172.57, that is a rejection of a long-term sell signal. And in my book, a rejection of a long-term sell signal is, in essence, a valid sign of strength. But in terms of follow-through buying, I'll just keep saying it. It would be a settlement above 186.31, which drops into the low 180s over the next 3 to 5 days, so forth and so on. Closing above 186.31 is sort of the clear buy signal, in my opinion, through January trade. And I'll be covering the targets if that were to occur at that point in time. But for right now, I'm just sort of putting it out there. Closing above 163.09, 186.31 in reach over the next 3 to 5 days. Until then, we certainly remain heavy on a number of accounts, except for this daily trend line. So if we happen to break or open below 144.92 today, we could test 135.06. 135.06, where are you? Nothing more than a simple trend line off the lows from October into November. So this area, 135.06, in reach today. If we break, especially if we open below 144.92, remember we remain in a long-term sell signal, but 144.92 is one of those levels that stands out as being able to contain near-term selling pressures on the way down into the 110s as our next long-term objective. If we close below 144.92, we should test 135.06 tomorrow if we don't test it on an intraday basis, and over the next 3 to 5 days, 125.83, and that is shown here. 125.83. You know, if I were to put all of these line studies on one chart, it would look like a royal mess. It may look like a royal mess to you anyway, but if we close below 144.92, 3 to 5 day downside target at 125.83, where we can bottom out through next week. And FYI, as you can see, it's dropping at a pretty decent pace. This is a 2.5 month channel bottom that over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, will entirely coincide with this objective that is presently on the daily chart at 107.54 to 118.74, which you can see once again on the weekly chart at 107.04 to 118.74. So, I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be said. I'll leave you with this image here, 155.45, below which 144.92 expected again, that long-term trend line where we can bottom out into later week. And now that we've done so, we can quite easily test 163.09 over the next day or two, intraday, if we happen to push or open today above 155.45. Inversely, downside, breaking or opening below 144.92, 135.06 in reach. In fact, I could have labeled that here. If we happen to break or open below 144.92, this trend line at 135.06 in reach on an intraday basis, and closing below 144.92, 125.83 likely over the following 3 to 5 days. I think that pretty much rounds it out for Tuesday's daily. I forgot to ask you actually. Please click like and subscribe each and every time you watch the Daily Tesla Report. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will provide you notification each and every time new content has been uploaded for your viewing. And if you would share the videos with friends and colleagues, I would greatly appreciate it. You have a great evening, and we will talk tomorrow.